Hey, thanks for taking the ride with us.
Well, no problem at all.
Virginia, I'll drive this. Where's the defroster at, baby?
Oh, it's there, yeah, it's right.
Well, it's driving nice, and too.
You got that on air conditioner. That probably ain't gonna help you none.
Okay. I can't really hear anything right now. You got your phone.
Did we hear it before?
No, Mr. Garrett did, and Mr. Roberto did, and one of the Ethos reps did. But you tell me where to go. I'm not from here.
Just go up this way, and we can
Sure.
we'll get some dirt and pavement everything right here.
Is that it? What was that noise?
That sounds like shit. Ain't supposed to sound like that. I swear it sounds like a CV does.
I'm kind of coming in on the back end of everything.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
We understand exactly
Yes, sir.
what we got. Now, basically, all I was told was the transfer case has exploded.
Yeah,
And
that's what Lewis at Palmer Dodge told me. He said that's the biggest ticket item. You need to make sure if you get this sent up to your boy, you called me, if you let them do the work. He was kind of pissed about that. I mean, I think Phil betrayed, but they did a good diagnosis. But that's exactly what his master mechanic told him.
Yeah.
He said that transfer case front out shaft yoke is not turning. That's what he said.
So he said it's not turning.
He said that thing is grenaded, and it will never work in full drive. So good straight, you think?
Yeah, these guys normally don't block everything.
Yeah,
up
I
down
think
here.
this guy's gonna
go
block
across
everything.
there and then go that way.
Right here.
Yeah, just go that way.
What's going on down here?
So
Can we get a? That sounds like crap. What is that? Is that the drive shaft?
I'm not sure. This is. I can probably get
This
further
one?
into
Or
it.
this
Yeah,
one?
just you can go around this gravel lot right here.
Okay.
That just goes right there and stops. So you're saying that
It will not work in full 4 high or 4 low. All I got is rear wheels turning right now, and it sounds to me like that double Cardian rear drive shaft is about to give up the ghost, or there's a problem with the ring and pinion still. I mean, that sounds like shit when you get on it. That's what brought this in here, was that sound. I'm a cancer survivor. I haven't felt really good. I haven't had this thing off road
Right.
in a while.
Well, I don't know
Okay.
if that sound definitely brought us in here, but it was one. I don't know what that
This
is.
way, or we gonna go?
Remember
just go around through
my
here and
car
we can kinda-
didn't start.
Let's do this. Let's turn on
What was the original issue when it broke down and we had to get it
the
towed?
too high. Go that way. See, it won't even shift into 4 high, bro.
let's see.
You want to try it? That's
That's
okay. Now we're at 4 low.
That's
We're
4
going
low.
third gear.
You want 4 high, you want 4 low.
I want 4 high, and I'm gonna go in third gears and not buck his off somewhere. But let's take pictures of the sound. Okay. What is working? Oh wow. That's why I went to third gear, because it's torquey. Okay.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, it sucks to get in gear. That shouldn't be that hard.
This
Is it?
it would probably be easier if we're sitting there and I was doing it all at once. Well, I'm not left-handed to start with. But
Okay. Yeah, you're fine.
these are always a little bit difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And the instructions say do it all in one swift motion.
Okay. Let's turn on
Sometimes
the-
it's very difficult.
Do you
to
mind if I
stop.
turn on the front axle lock?
No, do whatever.
Okay, that's
Whatever it needs to do to duplicate an issue or whatever.
First, okay, locked. That's the rear, so I'll figure it out. I hit it again for the front. Okay. All right. Well, it's turning. It's turning. I'm careful, it gets a little wet in here, Virginia. It's turning. I don't hear any grinding. So that's 4 low. That's the BC as it gets with the rear locker, right? You hear that?
What's that?
It's a transfer case, brother. Is it whistling?
I hear some noise.
Mm-hmm. Let's get down here. That ain't right. Did they ever check to see if it's full of fluid? Hear that?
Stuff
Hear
down
this?
here and then this
Yes.
Hear
mud.
this? Hear this? Where you getting stuck in this mud? Not this.
Oh,
Unless the
God.
transfer case
It's
gets
gonna
up.
be all muddy.
Virginia, I grew up on. I'm a Georgia boy. I've been driving Jeeps for 20 years. You, hopefully that gets the sound. Hold on. We're in 4 low, third gear, axle locked, rear axle, and it sounds like this shit. Birds. Virginia, you want me to get this fixed or not?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, stop talking. Love you. Gosh dang. You don't hear the Tweety birds?
Yeah, I do.
this for a long fucking time. Might as well be a Duke boy. You know how many cops I've outran?
Watch out for that thing up there.
Relax, it's a sewer cat. That ain't normal. You hear the whistle? Let's go. All right, let's go to front blocker. Or yeah, that's what's gonna fuck it up. Let's disconnect the sway bar too. All right, so you see the front's activated. Front locker. We're in 4 low. We're gonna go in 3rd gear. We're gonna take off. You know the Tweeties? Thank you. That's gonna sooner or later give up the ghost. You know, that was kind of that metal on metal sound.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Metal on metal.
You know, film so I bang ethos in the rectum. Hold on, we get between these trucks really soon. Here he is. That summer's down here getting his ass fired. Gosh, that's so loud, I guarantee. It's undeniable. Here we go. Let's turn this hard. Okay, this is really going to tell. I won't hit this car. Let's reverse. See what reverse does. So it sounds like the rear pinion and all that's fine, but this sound is coming from this transfer case. It's coming from under my seat. I mean, let's see what happens. I'm not this front locker off. Let's reconnect the sway bar.
Ethos didn't know who they had
No, they
at
didn't
the
know
helm
about
of the Jeep.
Well, I mean, they're used to dealing with people that can't even change their own fucking brakes and oil. I've been doing this shit since I was 15. 46. Still making the same sound. Let's go in higher gear so we can drown out some of the engine. See that? That was a bad shift. That was a tough, nasty shift. Here it is.
So if they fix,
When we get between 2 cars, let's stop for just a second.
Okay, yes sir. It's working. It's the transfer. The NP241 is like, but that sound. I had an F250, same sound, transfer case, bone dry, grenaded. So it's not grenaded. It's not as bad as he made it outward.
Well, that's kind of what my concern was.
That's not. It's not grenaded.
Somebody tells me that, I'm expecting to get under the car and see some pieces hanging out from under
right.
Sure.
there. And I didn't.
Yeah.
But-
No. You did your job.
But,
That sound, I know it's going to happen. It sounds like the front
Now,
output drive shaft,
What has been-
the yoke.
what has been done to it
Mhm.
previously?
Nothing. This hasn't even been off road with us yet. Like I said, I'm a cancer survivor.
Nobody's ever worked on the transfer case on that front drive shaft at all.
Sir, no, sir. I swear on my life, hand to God.
that we know of. Now
Yeah,
this
we
was
bought
a
the second
previous
hand from Noah.
owner. Now who knows?
Like two and a half years ago. And that's when I came down with the awful stomach ulcer, bleeding stomach, almost died. And then that's when I came down with melanoma. And we haven't went on vacation in 2 years. We haven't done anything like this. You know, I love taking these things, off road, but I haven't felt good enough to do it. But hand to God, I swear on my daughter's life, we haven't done any modifications other than maintain, change
This is
oil.
my Jeep, and I mean, I'm the one that drives it, and I have never off-roaded it. The only time I off-roaded a Jeep was my last Jeep when we were in the mountains, and then when the snow hit, but not this one.
But,
Now, then, that you know of, Palmer didn't make any repairs to
no, sir.
any piece of it.
No, sir. Because
Well,
you
they
called
have
us.
to-
You called us because Ethos called you.
Don't they have to
And they wanted that-
disclose everything when we buy it?
No. Let me tell you something.
What was
dude.
fixed or
People
anything?
sell used vehicles. The only vehicles I've never had problems with is Range Rover and Jeeps before. It's besides this one. Usually when someone trades a car in, it's a headache. It's got problems. It gets flipped. The nature of business is the price of doing business, okay? So, but that squeaking sound, that, and you're sure that they pulled the fill plug and it's full of?
Yeah, that I am sure of.
Okay.
And the reason I know that's because number one, I was expecting to see some hole in it. Do
You were expecting to see it literally
then I thought,
pieces.
well,
Of course.
there's no fluid hanging out under this car. If it's got
No
a,
leaks.
if a chain was wrapped, if a chain had rubbed the case, knocked a hole in it or something, it was just a pinhole. I would see something, and I thought, well, maybe they just don't have fluid in it, or they drained it out over there or something.
Right.
And,
No, they never got that far
but
with
it was
it.
full.
He said
Ethos
what
was
he
a
said
bunch of
was
bombs.
his master tech took the drive shaft off and said that front yoke on the transfer case that delivers the power to the front drive shaft that delivers the power to the Dana 44, 456 or 456 or 411 gears. Anyway, front differential that puts power to the front axles, wheels. He said that there was something really with that part. He said it's not leaking a bit of fluid though. He said, but this thing ain't gonna last. But his words were to me, it needed to be replaced. Is there any way we can, because it only takes about 20 minutes to disconnect the transfer case and the drive shafts, the front and rear, right? Is there any way we can get on a bench and open it up? See what's going on with it? One of your master techs on a bench?
Well, it's more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
You got a skid plate and all kind of stuff has to
Okay,
come out
so
of there.
an hour.
But opening it up is one thing. But
I mean, did it have to be sealed? I mean,
at the end of the day, if you open it up, you got to put it back together.
correct.
Right, so I don't want to be here all
with
afternoon. We're
RTV
not
and
doing
everything,
that.
right?
We're not
and,
doing that today.
And getting the surfaces, all the old shit off with the.
Yeah,
With
it would end up, by the time you do that, looking there and whatnot, it'd be a 3 or 4 hour job at a minimum.
Okay.
But
I appreciate the honesty.
what I do know is that on the front drive shaft, when I was checking the fluid on it, I walked into the car and I was looking at everything.
The front drive shaft has grease zerks
Well,
and the fluid in it.
The front,
Maybe it's a U joint.
So the U joint can cause the similar
Sure.
noise to that.
Yeah.
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
But the as far as the T case goes, there's very, very slight movement in that front output shaft on there. It's not very much, and it's not uncommon to have movement in there.
So it's
But-
going back and forward,
But
this way.
It moves this way.
Oh,
Keep in mind the drive shaft is in it, so it won't move this way. So it
Got it.
moves. When I say it moved up and down, it's like you're moving it, and you can just enough to know that it has some kind
play.
of yeah.
well, it probably has to have some play.
It has to
This is a
have
double
s-
CV drive shaft, right?
It has all of it has the whole drive line has to have some kind of
Some
slack
play.
in it,
'Cause you'll
or it would just
grind
bind
it
up.
out.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would. So a minimal amount of movement is not necessarily uncommon.
But that
You
squeak
would,
is.
You would prefer to have
Yeah.
as little as possible.
Yes.
The squeak noise is definitely not normal, and it could be a U joint or something simple like that. It would be the best case scenario. But
would be.
The reason I asked the question about the drive shaft in the transfer case is because it looks to me like that front yoke is new or newer. It doesn't look like something that's been in the car since it was new.
Since it's 15,
Yeah.
we never tested it.
Right.
But
I'm sure that
No.
I'm sure that you can pull, just like insurance
Yeah,
company
like the
or
VIN number.
Carfax can find out anything about any repairs or wrecks. I'm sure that you could pull it. You will not find anything from where we've owned this.
Right.
To some extent, we can find some things out, but it's not. If you make a repair in your
Defective.
driveway, we're never going to know.
Right.
If
I haven't
if
done that.
any
These are all
dealership or anything makes a repair that is not
warranty.
warranted or anything like that, it's unlikely that it's going to show up anywhere.
Okay, that's good to know.
Well, we
Now there are cases
This-
that you'll find on Carfax. You'll find repairs and things like
Yeah.
that in some cases.
Because the repairers sell that information to Carfax,
Yeah.
and it's free money for them because
It
all they're
either-
doing is document what they're doing.
It either has to be reported by the repairing dealership, or they're on a program where when it pulls that VIN, it will pull it from there and put it
So
Did
out.
you
attached to the
contact
VIN.
the repairing
So,
dealership?
so
'Cause
hold
I
on,
know this
Virginia.
was in
Just give me a
Texas.
second. So the only
Yeah.
place this thing has ever been for any kind of repairs is Palmer Dodge. We were told that was fine from Ethos in here.
Right.
So
And this is the second Jeep I bought from here.
Jeremy,
Same.
remember
So
the
as far as Ethos goes, you can take it anywhere and have it repaired, and you can refuse to have it brought back here. If it's within 50
I
miles,
trusted you.
If it's within 50
That-
miles,
I
their
knew you were a big
policy
guy.
is that that they call the selling dealer if it's within 50 miles
Mm-hmm.
and see if they can get it back there.
And we readily
We did
agreed.
that, right.
That was
Yes.
nice. I was like,
Right.
yes, sir. I have no problem with you doing the work as long as you know what Luis at Palmer Dodge and his master or shop, the shop foreman and the master tech said this is a problem.
Right.
But
And-
also
and-
when we were in I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, as far as Palmer Dodge goes, you know,
And they're affiliated with y'all. I mean, they're a Dodge dealer,
well, they're Dodge, but we don't have anything to do with each
Okay.
other. They're franchise.
but they're a verified
But
dealer.
at the end of the day, if they have good qualified technicians, just like we do, and if they tell us that this is actually what's going on
You're
there,
gonna listen to 'em.
and we normally would say, okay, let's go with that, and we'll go with that. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
In this
We'll
case,
verify it and check it.
Yeah, in this case, we were verifying what they told us, and
It didn't add up so much.
it didn't exactly add up. I'm not saying that they were
Okay.
doing anything wrong. I'm just saying the story.
Well, it
versus
definitely is
what I
not
see.
grenaded. It wouldn't turn.
Correct.
Okay, but that
And
squeaking
obviously-
sound is a problem.
Yeah.
And when we were in two-wheel drive coming up that hill, and I goosed it a little bit, you heard that shitty rattling sound.
Yeah, I heard.
You
a
know
little
that.
noise,
So there's
yeah.
something in the back going on too. It could be the output yoke shaft from the rear, the rear of the transmission to the rear differential. It could be
Yeah.
the double CV drive shaft. I had my Jeep for 200,000 miles, and I had to replace with Tom Woods drive shafts on mine because I did all. They don't come like this anymore. I had to put the suspension lift on there anyway, and they would go out and I'd have them repaired at the shop, and they would rebuild the drive shaft. I'd go pick it up in 3 days, reattach that bastard. I'm good for 100,000 miles.
Yes.
But they started sounding like that on the freeway at Georgia 400. That's how I knew it
That
was a problem.
same sound in the back?
Before it just let loose, and I had to run it home in front wheel in four wheel high, without with the drive shaft shot off somewhere. That's the same sound that it was making.
What's the
so I'm hoping that it's
What
that's
is
a rear
that?
and front drive shaft issue with the U joints or
And
the
it
double
very well
CVs.
may be.
So can we check this?
Now that I know exactly what it is we're after, it's going to
Right.
make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, there were
sometimes-
just many components going on,
yeah.
so
Sometimes what we get from one place and over the phone and all,
right loses.
there's things lost in
translation.
translation. But now that we know exactly what it is we're looking for, it'll make it a lot easier.
I'm hoping and praying
To figure it
that's a front CV drive shaft that's going tits up, and that definitely sounds like the rear ones with that chatter. It's got play in it when it's trying to turn, and that's in two-wheel drive when we came up that hill.
Yeah. Now that could be
It ain't the ring and pinion, I pray.
in.
They just got replaced.
That noise, I honestly don't believe that has anything to do with ring and pinion. Drive shafts can make weird noises like that sometimes. The exhaust can do with that same type of sound. Heat shield under there can do that.
We did have a heat
resonates-
shield replaced here
When it-
at Palmer
Okay,
because it wasn't a big deal.
so we can take a look at that.
Take
kind
a
of
look
thing.
at that.
Yeah, we'll see. Once we get it in the air, we can verify all this.
Well, the transfer case is not grenaded. It's definitely turning wheels. I got the rear locked right now. Let's get that axle off. Let's see,
So- Best case scenario at this point is once we get our open rack back in the shop, we can get it on the rack, put it in 4-wheel drive, and get under it and listen for the noise.
have someone puppy the throttle.
Yes.
And be safe about it. Don't
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can just take your phone or whatever. Y'all got microphones too, right?
Well, the
Use
stuff
your-
that we
use your
have
iPhone.
like that is usually just for diagnostic purposes. Doesn't record anything like that.
But you can hear it better. It
Well,
exacerbates the noise, or you could at
if
least
we can
echolocate it.
if we can determine what area it is, say it was internal to the transfer case. Yes, you take a stethoscope at that point
Plug
and you pinpoint kind of what area it's at. You know what kind of work. to
Saves you
look at.
from dragging
Yeah.
the transfer case off.
So
I've never heard of an NP241 ever going tits up, as long as it had fluid in it.
we very seldom ever have a.
It doesn't have
problem
enough
with
power to.
transfer
These are
case.
Dana 44s, man.
We
I
very
mean-
seldom ever have a problem with transfer case. It's not that it doesn't happen. We just don't. In this area, we don't see it a lot.
I off-roaded the shit out of my 03. It was a gift for graduating Georgia, and I had the 231. I just had the Sport. I couldn't get that thing. The only thing I ever had to replace on that was the drive shaft, double CV. Rebuild them at the Tom Woods drive shop, and I had to replace a battery every 4 or 5 years, and like a vacuum valve. I mean, that thing lasted me so long.
Right.
And so that's why I trust Jeep so much. And this one's been great, but now I think we're kind of piecing the puzzle together.
Yes, I think so. So now we got a little more information, a little more to go on.
Do we need to write this down so we don't forget? I mean,
No,
I know you're
what-
smart.
what
I'm
I'll-
smart too.
No, what I'll do is we'll get it back to the technician, get it on the rack, and I'll go out there with him, and then we'll get everything in motion and the wheels turning and the drive shaft's moving and.
It
see
don't
what-
sound like the front differential either is having any problems. And it's got fluid, I'm sure.
It does.
Okay.
Front differential, rear differential, and transfer case all have fluid in it.
See, I was going to have to replace.
All right, can I stop the video? I think we're
Yeah, yeah.
so.